Tell me.
Right now.
See the little red dot?
It's a PizzaFellas podcast. Turn your speakers up, we better have a blast. Grab a drink, fill a glass. Light a cigar, come on, let's make it last. Pizza Talk with Sal and Joe, Oliver, Antonio. Pizza stories, they gon' tell us. Let's have some fun with the PizzaFellas.
Hey, what's up, guys? Episode 46, PizzaFellas podcast, episode 46. We did a live, not a live, I keep saying live. We had a great episode last week at Caddy Corner in Nazareth, where we were there live at the bar. We filmed. That will be coming out shortly. But again, we are sponsored by this episode by Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. Thank you to them, and also thank you to Calypso's, Big Joe's Teas, and all that. Let's get quick into our sponsors here.
All right, here we go. Oh. Jeff Adams, Remax Realty, 610-972-5323. Want to buy a house, want to sell a house? Get with Mr. Jeff, Lehigh Valley and New Jersey. Enter.net, Juice is not here with us. He's in AC, I think, with his son. So social media, website design, and all that good stuff in Lehigh Valley. Franco's Pizza, Rosenfilippo Belia in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, right across the street from the federal courthouse. Shout out to you. I spoke to you about 15,000 fucking times today, but shout out to Rosa. Steve Seiler, he's our guest tonight, insurance. So 570-446-8023. Steve's going to get into all the insurance stuff and what pizza shops or restaurants, for that matter, should have insurance, but we're going to get into that in that segment and all that good shit. Master Supply, Barb and Kevin Master. Did you see that?
Yeah. Dealing with the elements here.
Oh, my God. Barb and Kevin Master and Dave Sweeney. We saw him yesterday. He's doing good. He's looking good with the foot.
Yeah,
had the
his foot's
operation.
doing good.
So all your janitorial needs for that, Master Supply. TNY Construction, Tony Nasser. No job too big and no job too small with Mr. Tony Nasser. All your construction needs in the Lehigh Valley. Want to build a house, want to break a house, want to blow up a house, call Tony. He'll do it for you. Banco Beverage, Jim Glassick, Tony Gallo, and Joe Marino. I just texted Joe Marino today. I spoke to him yesterday. I spoke to more Joe Marino this week than ever before. But shout out to you guys. Thank you for the sponsorship. Restaurant Store, Nick.
Sean.
What is it?
Sean, his boss.
What's that?
That's his manager, Sean.
Sean.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I don't know what he's saying. Sean.
Five people heard me. You did.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Sean, too. Do I know him? What's up, Joey? I do? Okay. Shout out to you, Sean. Thank you for that. Pabst Beer, Miller Lite, our good friends, our good sponsors there. Zoa, Calypso, Joe's Teas. I don't know why you guys don't have this in your stores. I mean, this stuff's moving like hotcakes. So we should have that all in there. Shout out to the U.S. Pizza team. Brian Hernandez there. Shout out to you again. Working our camera tonight is Mr. Anchovy himself, Rick from Cisco. You know, he's got it on. You can move. You can wave to the front if you want. You can put your hand to the front. No, okay. So shout out to you. Shout out to you. Pues Juices in AC.
Didn't he win $1 million slot too? I thought it was.
I don't know what he won.
I thought he said it in the group text. He had like a big slot.
I want to shout out Carmela's Sauces here. Carmela's Sauces, a taste of Bunker Hill. I didn't know Bunker Hill was in Dunmore, Pennsylvania. Dunmore, Pennsylvania is in that Scranton region. So shout out to them. Joe made some penne with this sauce. We're going to taste it a little bit later. It's on the table after this first segment, and then we'll get into that. So shout out to you, and thank you for sending this to us. We can give it a shot. All right. Now, without any further ado, we should do a shot.
There we go.
How was everyone's
I'm just a little fucking ticked off today because, it was, a guest was supposed to show up and didn't show up.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen, but
we'll have some fun.
But you know what
We'll
it
always
is, Sal?
have some fun.
We'll have some fun.
But you know what it is? Be a little bit respectful and text or call a person. We're all savvy with phones these days, right? So if you had to do something, should have let us know a little bit earlier, not fucking 10 minutes before you're supposed to go on air. But
Yeah, no, that's true. But what are you going to do?
what are you going to do?
It's just
Listen,
let's salute to those that are here. Episode 46.
and let's salute to the ones that are not.
Cheers.
Salute. Salute to you, Gigi.
All right, so let's get into it. Steve,
Yes, sir.
known you for a while now. When did you always start in the health business?
I did. I started back in 1994. So 30 years.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah.
30 years.
30
selling
years.
health insurance.
How'd you get into it,
That's
Steve?
what you started with, like health insurance? Is that what?
I did. So I graduated college, and I wanted to.
Where'd you graduate from?
Gettysburg,
Okay.
Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Did you wrestle at Gettysburg? Or?
No, but I beat the guy that was at 171, and I decided to switch careers, and I went into rugby. So
Oh, I
You
know
played
you
rugby?
I played
I
rugby.
thought you wrestled only. Okay.
yeah, no. High school, I was a big wrestler.
Right, but
Oh,
I thought you were a
shit.
college wrestler too.
Yeah, no. High school, I lost in regionals. I won districts. I lost in regionals to a guy that came in third by points.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's big.
By 2 points.
Yeah, that's big.
And yeah. So that was New Jersey. And then
Where in New Jersey?
Big wrestling state.
Bergen County.
You're from Bergen County?
Bergen County.
Nice.
So am I. Where?
Yeah, there you go.
Where?
So Ridgewood.
I'm in Lodi and Garfield.
There you go. Place called Ho-Hocus.
Absolutely.
Ho-Hocus.
There used to be a business school there.
Yeah. Ho-Hocus
Business
Business
School.
School. That's correct. Yeah. So my brother lived in
Or
Hoboken.
still is, yeah.
He was in Hoboken for a while.
Oh, really?
We used to go to Lodi. We used to go out to all the bars in Lodi. We had a good time.
They let you in? There's a lot of guineas in there.
They did. They let me in. I'm half Guinea.
Okay, then they let you in.
Yeah. I'm half Italian. I'm not full Italian. Half Swiss,
Well,
half
then
Italian.
you were okay.
Yeah,
Because you know how those guineas are.
I know.
They
That's why he blends so well. with the
They
group.
drink with you, then they beat the shit out of you, and then they drink with you again.
That's
Say
right.
I'm sorry.
That's right. My mother's mom was from on the boat. Came over from Italy. Her parents did in the 20s, and
Wow.
lived in Teaneck, New Jersey.
Absolutely.
Yep, and she used to make me all my homemade
Sauces?
Italian dishes. Delicious.
And if you ate just as much as you ate, you can eat now.
Oh
Then
yeah,
you had some good meals.
Absolutely, I had
'Cause
some
you could
great
put it
meals as a
down.
kid. Oh, loved it. Homemade tomato sauce, everything. She did the works.
Good.
That had to be hard wrestling too, cutting weight.
Oh, terrible.
That was tough.
It was absolutely terrible. So I'd wake up in the morning and I'd have a shot of orange juice to get the gut going. I'd have nothing for lunch, and then I'd work out for 2.5 hours, and I'd drop 5 pounds in 2.5 hours. Just to sweat.
Seriously, just to sweat.
Yep. I'd take my shirt, I'd wring it out, and then you go back into the boiler room, you jump rope, you do whatever, you wrestle with the guys.
Back in those days, a lot of guys used the plastic suits too, right?
Yes.
Garbage bags.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's if you had to make weight. I always made weight. I was 171, so I'd get down from 195 to 171 back in high school.
He acts like it's 2 pounds.
Yeah. No, it was. It was nothing. For me, that was easy. The hard part was the wrestling part, right? So, you get out in the mat and you look at the guy in the eye and he's looking at you. I'm going to fucking rip your head off, and I'm looking at him, and then the whistle blows and you give it your all for 6 minutes, and it felt like 2 hours
Yeah.
It does.
that you were on the mat for 2 hours. And it's not a gay sport, man. It's a rip your head off sport.
Yeah.
It's intense.
It's a mano a mano sport. You have
It is.
nobody to blame but yourself. If you lose, you lost because you did something wrong.
That's right.
And you live with that.
That's right.
So from Bergen County, then you moved to PA?
I did. Well, after Gettysburg College. So I graduated Gettysburg.
Oh, you went
And
there
then-
from Jersey. I got
I did.
you.
I wanted a job like Oliver's, man. I wanted to do pharmaceutical sales, right? I wanted to be Oliver, working.
I don't think he does pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, working 5
I don't
hours
know
a
what the
day.
fuck he
Come
does.
on, making 150, 200 grand a year. That would have been great.
Got your tag now.
He sells sex toys. You think it's pharmaceutical, but it's just pharmaceutical
That's right.
sex toys.
Yes.
It's just under the guise of Viagra.
Yeah. So my dad knew a guy at Aetna, and he interviewed me. I interviewed all day long. And that night from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., 9 p.m. that night, he hired me, and I went to work the next day.
In
No kidding.
pharmaceuticals.
No, in health
Insurance.
insurance.
Oh, okay.
So I was working for Aetna, which used to be known as U.S. Healthcare.
Okay.
At the time, it was owned by Len Abramson. He's a billionaire down in Philadelphia, and he had a campus. It was literally a college campus that he had, full of buildings and health insurance claims departments and customer service departments, and so it was
And this was in Philly?
spectacular.
This was in Philly?
Yes, in Bluebell.
Oh,
Blue Bell.
Blue Bell's a nice area.
Bluebell was the main campus.
Okay.
And he had buildings in Philly, he had buildings in Fairfield, New Jersey. He had buildings out in Pittsburgh. He was all over the place. So at the time, U.S. Healthcare insured over 1 million people. I remember when it hit 1 million, because that was the big party. That's when we had a big party.
And the competition at that time?
Oh, the Blue Cross. That's it. Blue
That was the
Cross,
competition.
That was the major. Yeah. Blue Cross, and there was another carrier called John Alden, which was the old classic health insurance plans where you had a $250 deductible, 80/20. Everything was covered at 80% after your deductible.
Simple.
Until you've hit, $2,000 out of pocket, you're covered in full. So there were John Aldens, there were Blue Cross Blue Shield, and then there was U.S. Healthcare. And U.S. Healthcare eventually was bought out by Aetna. And Aetna's still around. They're a big wig. They were bought out by CVS.
CVS, like the.
CVS Pharmacy.
No kidding.
Yeah. They own Aetna.
Yeah, they're mega.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, CVS is killing it, especially their Target deals and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely killing it.
So what you're saying, so I can get this straight here. This is in the 90s, or is
Yes.
this modern day?
90s.
In the 90s, so CVS is buying them out. So we're not
No,
even...
CVS bought them out recently.
All right, so but in the 90s, CVS wasn't in the business. It was just...
CVS was pharmaceuticals
pharmacy.
selling pharmacy.
Just pharmacy, okay.
Yeah, pharmacy.
Okay.
Yep.
But in the 90s, I remember when I first met you was, I think around maybe 98, and I started getting insurance maybe 2000?
Probably around 2000.
2000?
Yeah. That's when I moved to Allentown.
And it was easy. Insurance was easy. And then we kind of got away from each other. You know, I didn't own that place anymore.
Yes.
And then for the first few years, it wasn't until recently when I realized health insurance isn't that hard when you have somebody like yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, they make it sound like this is so complicated.
Yes. It's back then it was very easy to understand. We were going around with U.S. Healthcare. Our deal was we were an HMO. HMO means Health Maintenance Organization. You're locked into a network.
It's all HMO.
And that network gets the largest discounts from the providers. So the hospitals were giving them what Blue Cross and Blue Shield was getting, which is 50-60% discounts.
Is that right?
Yeah. So you enter a hospital. If the hospital bills $100,000,
Right.
the insurance company's only paying $45,000, and they're taking it as payment in full. So U.S. Healthcare came in as an HMO, and the HMO was designed to focus on preventive care, which is what the government wants today, right, with Obamacare. So this thing progressed. But the way we were
So
selling
explain preventive care. If you may.
so preventive care is to prevent people from getting the actual disease or illness. Preventive care means, they tried to prevent people from getting type 2 diabetes. They tried to prevent people from having heart attacks, strokes, cancer. And so you'd go for a physical back in the olden days, in the 90s,
Right.
They wouldn't cover the physicals. They cover them now at 100%. You pay nothing for a physical, or you pay nothing for immunizations. You pay nothing, to get a colorectal exam. You pay nothing to get a mammography for women.
For women.
But back in the olden days, they wouldn't cover any of that. It would just be, hey, that's subject to deductible. You want it covered, you're going to pay for it.
Wow.
Yeah. So your physical's $200, you're paying it. Now, you're covered in full. But back then, we were selling $2 copays to a doctor. So that would be your selling point. You have a $250 deductible with Blue Cross Blue Shield, or you have a $250 deductible with John Alden. How many times can you see a doctor for $2 before you've even met your deductible?
Right.
You can see a doctor 125 times
Right.
before you've even met your deductible. So we were going in there with $2 copays to the doctor, $5 copays to the specialist, $2 copays for your prescription drugs. So all those things are
And no
covered.
other billing to the consumer.
Correct, $2. You paid $2, they covered the rest.
What do you think about Obamacare? Truthfully.
That's all he sells.
Truthfully, it's not a good plan. I hate to say it, and I don't want to say it here. There's one good thing that
Well, I'm
came out of
glad you say it
Obamacare.
here.
No, I want to hear it.
One good thing that came out of Obamacare is that they cover pre-existing conditions. But the problem with pre-existing conditions is premiums go through the roof because they have to take everybody, regardless of your condition. So you could sign up for insurance. There's an open enrollment period at the end of the year. which is November and December, typically for a
Th-
January
this
1st
open,
start date.
This open enrollment, though, that confuses me.
Yeah.
Like, does that mean that in August you can't get insurance if you need to come to a person like you and buy it?
Correct. So you're without insurance now. You're without insurance for the entire year.
Until November,
There's
December.
nothing out there you could buy.
Nothing out there you can buy unless you're a company. And again, now here's where the pizza shops come in. If you're a company and you have a pizza shop and you have 2 employees, they each have to have a different last name. Can't be your wife.
Pizza shop,
Any restaurant,
Any restaurant.
what about a garage?
even a
Any
mechanic,
business,
whatever.
a business.
a business?
If you're a business, a family-owned business, a corporation, whatever it is, small business, you need 2 people with 2 different names, and you'll get insurance any time of the year.
Correct. First, it starts first of the month.
I had no freaking idea.
Yep.
No idea.
So go back to Obamacare.
So go back to Obamacare. The one good thing that came out of it was pre-existing conditions are covered. Everybody wants pre-existing conditions covered. Everybody. Whether you're Republican, you're Democrat, you want these things covered. Now, how they're covered is a different story because you have deductibles and copays. Remember,
Yeah.
insurance is just a pot of money, right? And when people get sick, they reach into that pot and they grab the money from the pot. What prevents them from grabbing the money from the pot is your deductibles, your copays, your
Your premiums.
co-insurance, right?
So that's how they control it.
That's correct. So they block you from reaching into that
It's almost
pot.
like a buffet. You can go up for a plate, and then they tell you that's it. You're
correct.
done for the
Correct.
You're on the dessert.
So, Steve, pretty much you could cover one individual to a company. Is that you could?
That's what I do.
Correct. Like you could sell from
Two
one.
individuals.
But an
Yeah,
Meaning
individual-
from
Yeah, but
from you could have 2 individuals to 300 people.
30 other, 100 other people. You can do that.
Correct. Correct. The individual is going to have trouble finding insurance if you have a major pre-existing condition. You're only allowed to buy it once a year, at the end of the year for a January 1st, or sometimes if they allow it, a February 1st start date. That's it.
That's it.
For what reason?
So it protects the insurance companies. The insurance companies obviously lobbied the congressmen, they lobbied the senators, and they said, look, we need to protect ourselves because we don't want people signing up
Every
with,
month,
yeah,
every day.
with
When they
an
get
MCL tear or an
Yes.
ACL tear, getting it done in February and then dropping the insurance in March. So they pay their premium for 1 or 2 months. They get their procedure done, and then they drop the
And then they
insurance.
dropped it. So they basically said, let's
It's,
push.
it's almost insurance fraud.
It's a
if you
yearly-
think about it.
Well, do you
Yearly
think it would have been
contract.
better, though, if they would have said, enroll any time, but you must have the insurance for 1 year?
Yes, it would have been.
That would have been the smarter
Oh,
rule.
yeah.
But again,
I mean, there's the answer to the equation.
There it is.
The equation is there is no fraud.
But then that
you can
stops-
buy it anytime, but that stops what we're in right now. No,
Yeah.
the money's still coming, but
Well,
we're not in the environment
people
we're
might
in.
not pay it,
correct,
though.
correct.
I mean, am I right when I say this?
so people choose
They
to pay the premium.
They created an environment that's going to cause the situation we're in. Rather, if you created an environment of capitalism,
Yes.
where the insurance companies are still protected,
Yep.
but if you come in February 1st with your MCL, at least you got to give us 9 months.
Yeah.
Or you got to give us 1 year.
Yeah, I agree.
1 year. Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
that's
Proof
I mean,
of insurance
But
for a year.
that wasn't politically
you
feasible.
can't expect people
The
that
politician-
can't afford it to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
And they wanna
politician
keep
would have
those
said, "Screw you."
If they gave that choice, though, but if they gave that choice, they knew people then would take that choice.
Correct.
But saying, okay, you don't need insurance, something happens, they're keeping them poor.
That's right.
well, wait, but here's another point. So my son has a good point. I don't want insurance, so I don't need insurance.
Yep.
So a person gets injured. So now it's a choice against, I can buy this insurance right now, have to guarantee the premium of $14,000 for the year.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a medical procedure done on me that's in excess of 60.
Right.
Am I correct? Is
Yeah.
this
Oh,
a
yeah.
good equation of how I'm saying this?
It's a good equation.
But you must pay for a year. You're doing what we ask. That's fine. Now you have other people that are still on there. After a year, if you drop it and you want to take a chance, that's on you. But
That's on you.
That
Yeah.
would have been a better, in your own words, you said it would have been a better thing than what we're in.
Absolutely.
I mean, can I tell you something quick?
Absolutely. But how are they going to force you to pay it? How are they going to say, Joe, you got your knee done. We paid for it. We paid $50,000.
Well, they don't force
Now
you to
you
pay it
owe us.
now.
Now you owe us the $800 a month.
But if a person misses their premium now, they don't force you to pay it.
Correct. But they also don't have to pay your bill. Except for the months that you were covered.
The months you were covered.
Wow, there's always it's like a ping pong effect.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's a ping pong effect. That's exactly right. That's a good way to look at it. But what Obamacare did was they melded everything, and the politicians basically said, okay, come to us, you lobbyists, come to us with what you need. And the lobbyists said, well, we want unlimited mental health and substance abuse. We want people that are on drugs to be covered on the same way that you would be covered with an illness or a sickness. They said, okay, we'll build that in. We want all preventive care to be covered 100%. Your colorectal exam, your mammography, your physical has to be covered in full. Well, who pays for that? You do with your premiums.
Right.
But that was built in. We want benefits to be unlimited. So we don't want because the insurance company used to have a $2 million max. Once they paid out $2 million, you were cut off. Or once they paid out $1 million, actually in the 90s it was $1 million without inflation. It was $1 million. Once they paid out $1 million, you're cut off. The lobbyist said we want it to be benefits unlimited, so that you had the reinsurers that were lobbying for that come in and say, look, Blue Cross will cover the first $2 million. We'll cover from $2 million to $1 billion, and we'll build that into the premium. So all these things stack and stack and stack.
So if you're Steve, like, if you're the guy on the side, if you're on the capital side of this, so now you're the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, what it's saying to them is, we could charge whatever the fuck we want.
Correct.
There's no now what they did is they took out fair medical charges and just increased the cost to have for these nonprofit organizations who some of them run in the red. And it doesn't fucking matter.
Correct.
I mean, I'm not mentioning no names in the area, but there's some of them that are the worst payers in the Lehigh Valley.
Yes.
I know guys that are private guys that work for them waited a year to get paid for their fucking jobs.
Yes.
Is that right, Joe?
Oh yeah, and they still fucking did work for them.
Yes.
But you're $750,000 in, and you can't get fucking payment.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I'll tell you, I don't want to get off
You're
subject.
correct.
Here's a subject that just happened to me about 4 weeks ago. Now, in the last 2-3 years with my arthritis and different things, I see my doctors all year long. So I'm not mentioning the place, but it's a core of 4 doctors that are in the same hospital that has them. Go see them, boom, I pay my copay. Go see them, go pay. Okay, I get a phone call. Are you Joe Ruffino? I was like, yeah, I'm making dough with Trixie in the back. And I'm like, I'm Joe Ruffino. And he said, well, you have a $2,000 debt to this hospital. I was like, how? She says, well, you owe this debt for money that's paid. I said, but I paid my deductible. So she says to me, she goes, no, there's other money owed that wasn't paid. I says, hold on here a second. I says, I own a pizza shop, man. So if I had a house account or I had something and you owed me money and you're coming in to buy pizza, and now the button comes up, I owe money because my name is attached, that customer's name is attached. Yep. Shouldn't the receptionist have told me, hey, Joe, you have a $580 outstanding balance here?
Yes.
And now it's at $2,000,
Yeah.
but I saw 4 doctors within that network, and you're telling me this $2,000, nobody ever saw it flagged to my name, and now it's in collections?
Yep. That happens all the time.
I says, why would they so I said to her, why would they allow my services at that time to come in and just pay $60 copay and not say, Joe, right now there's a $200 outstanding balance. Now there's a $500. Now there's $1,100. Now there's a $2,000.
That's right.
Okay.
So it's price transparency.
So so my name is there. My SS is there. Everything's there. My address. You want to know my date of birth. You want to know you want to know this. So it's me. And why would they continue to service me? She goes, hold on a second. I says, excuse me? She goes, hold on. Puts down the phone. I hear the whatever she had on. She's mumbling to a guy. Puts it back on. She goes, Joe, nobody's ever asked us that question.
Oh, God.
So I said to her, well, in that point, answer that question. and show me the bills. I just don't need a $2,000 verbal thing from you saying you owe me this.
I can
show me
answer.
what offices, what services, where did I go? I was at my MD, my arthritis, I'm at my orthopedic, I'm at this doctor for that. What did I pay?
Yeah.
I can answer that because by law, in the state of Pennsylvania, regardless of your ability to pay, they have to treat you.
Is that right?
That is correct.
By law.
By law.
That's a nice fancy law, but they could say, "Can you pay today?" Because now let's just think of this again. I'm here because you could look at the insurance and say, "Well, at the time, I guess this was happening. It was before we went through you, and you helped us save money with our situation." So we were with another guy who's a cocksucker, who I can't stand. I mentioned his name before with us, but they were raking us over the coals, and me and my wife, we went back and forth. So I'm paying at that time over $40,000 a year. So if I could afford to come here on a $40,000 a year insurance, you don't think I could pay the $2,000? The outstanding balance? At some point, somebody, the penny pinchers who, when the doctors are in those hospitals on the computer and the button comes up, ding, you're at 10 minutes. Close this out because you're losing us money. Ding, you're done with this patient. Shut it.
That's correct.
You have X amount of time in that office with that doctor because the penny pinchers are counting the time you're with them. Well, they also should be telling that person that penny pincher not on that. He has an expensive insurance. He can pay the $450. Just ask the question.
Yes. And they never do.
But they should.
But they should.
This is where it's a conspiracy of bullshit.
So it's a veil. It's always a veil. There's a veil between you and the doctor. There's a veil between you and the hospital and what you actually owe. And that veil is price transparency. So that we've been trying to get, or I used to lobby for the Association of Health Underwriters. Sounds nerdy, right? And it probably was. We used to go down to Harrisburg. We used to speak to the local congressmen and the state senators, even the governor. We spoke with the governor, Ed Rendell, back in the day. We spoke to him directly. And they even said it, price transparency, that you don't know what you're being charged before you go receive services. That's a big factor with health insurance. And that's one of the reasons why it's so expensive. You don't know. You don't know.
Could you imagine if we sold a pizza, you came in on the night.
And you said it's going to be $100 for that.
It's $100, but we record your credit card, and all of a sudden, get your email, and next thing you know, I'm sorry, but you stood another 25 minutes. According to your bill, there's a $72 charge more for that.
There you go.
Boom, here we go.
That's the way it's operated. That's the way the system works. So yeah, we can shake our heads, but but again, politically, it's allowed to happen.
That's a good move. Pass one over here.
Well, listen, Steve, we'll take a quick break. We'll get you back on. We'll talk more because I love this conversation.
All right.
Thank you again, the Miller High Life, episode 46 sponsorship. Thank you very much. Should we take a shot quick before we get break?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Way to go. Oh, pass it over here.
We already took a shot.
Yeah, we'll do another.
We'll take one more. You're aggravated.
Yeah, you said you were aggravated before that show. So that
I don't
means
want to aggravate anybody, but it is what it is. Look at Joe. He's shaking. He's so aggravated.
that's what gets you the health insurance.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It's expensive.
It's crazy.
It is expensive.
It's the second most expensive item other than payroll.
I had an operation.
Yes, it is.
I had an eye operation. I'm not going to get too descriptive about it, but I went in. I was told we had to pay. We drove over, and me and my wife were told, you got to pay this or you're not getting operated on. And it was in the thousands.
It's like your animals.
Okay, so I was like, yeah, no problem.
They obviously know you can afford it.
So I went over, and I remember I went up, and I said to the lady, I said, when I pay this, though, my question to you is this all I'm going to owe? She looked at me and said, yes. I says, there's nothing else I'm going to owe. Nothing. Okay, we paid it. 9 months later.
Oh, no. Oh, no. See, that's why you need a broker or consultant to argue that
what you need
charge.
is when you walk into a doctor's
And you
office,
could do that.
You need an attorney. You need a fucking attorney
Yes.
to walk into a doctor's office, sign all the papers, and then they have still the nerve to talk about HIPAA.
Oh, well, that protects.
All right?
That protects.
HIPAA,
Yeah.
but did you take the shot? What, polio? What shot are you talking about?
Should have applied HIPAA. They should have claimed HIPAA when Monica Lewinsky went in there.
Yeah.
It's confidential.
Yeah. Well,
It's a
nothing
medical
happened.
issue.
Nothing happened, right?
Yeah, right.
It's unreal.
Well, cheers to that.
Salute.
Cheers.
Cheers to Monica Lewinsky in
Oh
the freaking
boy!
Oval Office.
Cheers to Steve Seiler not being alive anymore.
Cheers. We'll be back, guys.
That's a fucking good episode.
All right, guys, we're back. Episode 46, PizzaFellas podcast. This episode is sponsored by, again, Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. Thank you for the sponsorship, and thank you, Banco Beverage. We have been taking shots of this tonight. I can't even say it. Well, how do you say it?
I don't fucking read Japanese, Sal.
Haraziki?
Hatozaki.
Oh, there you go. Very good.
Hatozaki.
He did it. It was actually pretty good, though.
I don't fucking know.
Hatozaki.
Oh, Dr. Tran, read this.
He's the dentist. He can't
he's
fucking read
Vietnamese.
Yeah, but he's Asian.
That's great. He's Asian. It puts him in there.
Shout out to Nick at Restaurant Store. What does that read? What does that say?
Let's see if he can karate chop the top off it.
You're right. More than just corn. It's the Restaurant Store. More than just corn.
I just feel good.
They have more than just corn.
He made me laugh when he said that. More. Well, episode 46, and we're back with Steve Seiler, our good friend over here, talking about health insurance, the whole political world behind it, and etc. As we discussed that. Real quick, I do want to go back to what you just said to me about the 40. Can you go over that one more time?
All right. So, very simply put, the insurance company gets a discount. Blue Cross typically gets the highest discounted rate because it goes way back. But Blue Cross in the olden days, in the 90s, always covered pre-existing conditions no matter what. So if your company wanted to sign up with Blue Cross, it didn't matter what you had. It could have been cancer. It could have been dialysis. It could have been something very expensive they had to cover pre-existing conditions, and they told the government that look, we're going to do that in Pennsylvania. And so Blue Cross typically gets the highest discounted rate from the hospital systems. So if you go into a hospital with any insurance plan, doesn't matter what it is, if the bill's $100,000 and the insurance company has a contract with that hospital, and that $100,000 was for, let's say, bypass surgery, okay, which is typically more than $100,000, but we're just going to use that for simplicity purposes. If it's $100,000, the insurance company pays $45,000, and the hospital has to take it as payment in full.
Pre-negotiated rate.
It's a pre-negotiated rate, as Oliver
just
would say.
crazy.
Correct. So it's all these things are pre-negotiated. They're pre-negotiated with the providers, the doctors and specialists, and they're also pre-negotiated with the hospital systems.
Steve, here's a question just coming off of there. And it's so we're insured in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
What states in the United States, if I go to and get hurt, is my insurance covered in and not covered in?
So because
does this happen state to state? Like what I'm
does.
trying to say,
It does.
we think we're a nation one under God. You're paying all this money. I leave just my state and I'm still in the United States. I know this when you go overseas, I learned it's a whole different thing. We had some situations and it cost money.
Yeah.
I was on a cruise ship. I was on places where I had to pay thousands
Yeah.
just to get off the ship. I never would have thought I'd ask this question. I always considered that the money I'm paying as a U.S. citizen who didn't come across a fucking border and get a fucking iPhone and get a plane somewhere.
Yep.
I can't. I'm working my ass off. My insurance will be covered if I'm hurt in Jersey, if I'm hurt in New York, we get in an accident driving somewhere with the show, we're down in Louisiana, we're in Florida. Am I saying something that is cockeyed?
No, because you have what is referred to as a PPO product. So a PPO product.
What does PPO stand
It's
for?
Preferred Provider Organization. Preferred Provider Organization. So they have preferred providers. Those providers give them discounts, right? Those are preferred. Then there's providers that don't give them discounts. They're non-preferred. A PPO typically covers both. It covers preferred providers and non-preferred providers. And if you go to a preferred provider, you're paying the lowest out-of-pocket costs that you can under the plan. If you go to a non-preferred provider, you're going to pay higher out-of-pocket costs.
But back to the question, though. If a situation happened in another state, are there hospitals that could turn you away
No,
due to your insurance?
no. Typically, most hospitals across all 50 states have to cover you, have to provide service.
Really?
Yes, really.
Because I feel like I was talking with Dave, and he was talking about a situation that occurred when they were down in Maryland.
Dave who?
Dave Sweeney.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking. And
So he has
something
what is
happened.
referred to as an EPO or an HMO.
Okay.
And with an EPO,
They had to go across to Delaware.
yeah. So Preferred Provider Organization is probably one of the better plans that you can purchase.
Okay.
It's old school. You can go anywhere.
So
You-
there are insurances out there that are just insuring you
Correct.
in a state,
Correct.
and I don't think most consumers realize that.
No, most consumers don't. So they'll go online, they'll go to Obamacare, they'll go to Penny, which is the online resource center for people that are looking for Obamacare policies. And they typically do this in November and December for a January 1st start date, sometimes February 1st if the government allows it. It's all government-based. So they go online, and if you're looking at, let's say, a Capital Blue Cross plan with a $7,450 deductible in the hospital, with a $50 doctor copay and a $10 generic drug card. You take the EPO, you're locked into St. Luke's.
And wherever they're at.
That's it.
So
St. Luke's.
if they're not in Pittsburgh, within the same state, you're
They're-
screwed.
Yeah, they're in Pittsburgh.
Okay, I'm just
out
saying.
of network. They're out of network.
There's not a St. Luke's there.
Correct. So if it's an emergency, typically,
And when they're buying this, there's nobody saying that to them.
no, when they're online purchasing it on their own, there's no
There's,
one,
there's
no one letting
nothing
them know
there
this.
giving a warning. Warning.
No, nothing.
Like, think about how hard that would be. Warning. Understand, if you're buying this for Dr. Vinny Boombots' hospital, and he only has 30 hospitals, once you leave this area, you are not covered because Vinny Boombots is not there. Because that's what it is. It's like a Vinny Boombots fucking situation.
Correct.
In a $1 trillion thing of some of these places who, to me, it's like, holy shit. And this is regulation.
Correct.
This is regulation. Wow.
Correct.
So, like, people need to really, as a society, I learned about the short.
Here it goes.
It always goes. But that's
He fixed it.
Yeah, he fixed it.
He fixed it in the Matrix.
It'll play out. But
So you are correct.
that's a real scary thing.
I think so.
Because I think people buy on pocket, not on,
Of course.
especially if they're online.
What's the cheapest plan?
What's the
What do you-
cheapest plan?
what have
I'm
you got?
covered.
Yeah, I'm covered.
But how many of those same people buying that cheapest plan are living the life of their life? And then you could get hurt somewhere.
Correct.
You're down at the shore, you're jet skiing, you're doing something, you fall off the mountain. We all have done it. We're at places you get injured.
Fell off the mountain?
Oh, yeah, I've been
What about when?
We should talk about that.
Yeah, I've been there. You were with me, so.
What about when the what's his name, Lindo's son broke his arm in
Yeah, it was like,
Jamaica
what did you say,
Yeah.
like $15,000?
$12,000, yeah, something.
12,000?
Yeah.
just to get surgery?
No,
not
just to get
surgery,
looked at.
I mean,
That's-
we were on a cruise ship, and I mean, my youngest son Dante, with the ship's kind of, first of all, in my eyes, my argument was we're in a soon coming hurricane, so it's rocking. All right, why are we allowed up by the pool? If the door's open, we're going. So we went.
I would too. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you just don't know. Like, we're not told don't go to certain places because when you get into it, everything's locked up. We were in the hurricane. Remember me and you were at the dinner table when you were a kid? Everybody went back to the room, but you could only stay inside. You were locked from anything that went outside. So the ship's rocking, but he wanted to swim. We go up, boom, it rocks. He hits, slices his eye open. Oh. And he starts screaming. I mean, it's up in here when you cut it. I think it cost me like $2,000-$3,000 I had to pay for that doctor. And the job they did was horrendous. You know, you got some guy in a boat from, where are you from? I'm from Sweden. From Sweden? What the fuck do you know? I mean, I don't know what you know. I mean, you know, the blood that came out was one of the worst days of my life.
Stitching fishes.
And stitching fishes, he stuck the Novocaine. I had to sit there and I had to hear him yell, "Daddy," you know. And hold him in my arms. I physically was a guy holding him, and he's shivering. It was one of the worst days of my life. It was. And then afterwards, they sent so we're on the second last day on the ship, and they asked me to come down to see where you have to pay things. And I had this bill. I was like, I got insurance. No, it doesn't work here. You got to pay the
You're
bill.
in international waters.
Yeah, basically you're not leaving the ship until you pay the bill.
You're in international waters.
Yeah.
Snuck the fuck off that shit.
Oliver
There you
would've-
go.
He would have jumped
There you
off.
go. They had his credit card. They knew where.
That's what I pulled out, the credit card.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's crazy stuff when you.
So, what's your suggestion, Steve, for other business owners, small pizza shop guys and stuff, if they want to get health insurance?
So, you can get health insurance as a pizza shop as long as you have another employee. And furthermore, so you've got to determine whether or not your group is healthy or are they sick. And what I mean by sick is, are they taking an expensive drug? Are they have they had surgery in the last 5 years? Do they need something major? Does someone have MS? Does someone have cancer? Does someone have a heart condition, major heart condition? If so, yes, they definitely want to go with Obamacare. If not so, they may want to consider a group policy that is also Obamacare compliant, but will return to them half of the unused premium. So at the end of the year, if they're just going to the doctor once or twice and picking up a drug once or twice, and it's generic, they can get half their money back.
And then start over the next year.
Correct.
And you're a person that can service this.
I can do that. Yeah.
And I have to say, you do it very well.
Thank you. So insurance companies are creative.
You really do it very well.
They're creative. They push the envelope, you know. And in this case, in my opinion, they've pushed the envelope.
Yeah, I think they did.
They did because normally Obamacare wouldn't allow something like that. But in this instance, the HHS, or the Health and Human Services regulators, allowed it to happen. And they allowed it in quotes, right?
Yeah.
So,
You know, I know you a while, and I'm just throwing this on a different note. So you're into the organic.
I am.
You're into the organic, and you have said stuff to me at times with so many things. If you have this, you can do this, this, and this. I mean, let's give an example. A person has
Arthritis.
arthritis. Yeah, arthritis. What do you suggest for that person? What's the regimen?
Okay. So where I get my information is not necessarily medical advice.
Yeah.
I'm not offering medical advice. I'm not.
No, it's
I'm not diagnosing conditions. I'm not a doctor. I'm not licensed to do so. I'm not licensed for any of this. But
Let me say this,
that
though,
being
before you
said-
go on. So the American Medical Association was started by Rockefeller.
Yes, it was.
Okay? On the day that started, all the different ways of treatments in this country that those doctors were taught, if you taught them, they were taken you to jail.
Yeah.
And they took many licenses. That's not even taught in our schools. I mean, he also started the Cancer Society.
Yes.
It's amazing, these societies that are nonprofit that make all this money, but the agenda, they put, here's the table, that's what you're learning.
If they cured cancer tomorrow, would they be in business?
No fucking way.
There you go.
No fucking way.
There you go.
And this, listen, this is my belief. I'm not a doctor, but from stuff you hear, they say they could cure cancer, some forms of cancer. You have to be, with the technology we have, to say that they can't is almost an insult to a person's growth of the brain and knowledge and technology.
There you
To
go.
say that we've come all this way with all this cancer and all we've come up with is treatment and not a cure, That's pretty fucking stupid. It's because it's a business making.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
You can't say that. It's the money's being made hand over foot. Give them this, give them that, and then maybe you'll be one of the lucky ones.
I'm not going to disagree with you. But what I can tell you is that the American diet is horrible. Okay. Number one. That being said, every diet that eats deep fried food and doesn't abide by certain regimens, it's a horrible diet. Okay. You're not going around the outside of the grocery store. You're not picking from, the organically grown spinach and lettuce and tomatoes and, you're not picking up stuff that is whole foods, okay? But for arthritis, there's different things. I listened to a guy, his name is Dr. Joel Wallach. He's on After Midnight with George Norrie on 790 AM locally.
Love George Norrie.
There you go. So
Art Bell was my guy.
Art Bell was your guy. Yeah. So this guy, I listened to him, and he had an excellent episode on the podcast where I thought, hey, look, man, this is all logical. This shit is true to form. It's ringing my ears. It's ringing my brain. This guy knows what he's talking about. And he went down the list. And he said, look, if you have type 2 diabetes, you need chromium and vanadium. If you have high blood pressure, you either need magnesium or calcium. And typically it's magnesium, which relaxes the blood vessels. Calcium allows the blood vessels to contract. If you have arthritis, you need anti-inflammatory drugs. You need things like curcumin and turmeric and anything that's anti-inflammatory, omega-3 fatty acids. These things help with these conditions. They don't necessarily cure them, but they help.
Can ease the pain.
Absolutely, 100%.
Steve, did he talk about...
I'm not allowed to say this, but again, he talked about everything. Everything.
Except one thing.
Go ahead.
A cure for donkeys.
There's no cure for stupidity.
You knew that was coming, right?
I'm teasing you. That's great.
What was that?
I
was
love
it
you.
castor
I love
oil?
you. I had to do it.
Steve, the product. What castor oil? You ever heard of it?
Yeah, of course.
So, have you heard some of the things about it?
No, tell me about it.
I saw somewhere where they said that if you take castor oil and you put it on like a rag or something, you wrap it around. Like I have in here, I have what the heck are they called? Spurs.
Okay.
Like bone spurs.
Yeah.
I have 5 different ones in my elbow. So they said one of the greatest things out there is castor oil.
Huh.
You put it on overnight.
You lather it on?
You put it on a rag. You put it on your arm. Find a way to attach it. And the castor oil can take the spurs and just start to break them down. Have you ever heard?
I'm not going to say it's not possible.
Wait, what?
Your body
Castor
heals
oil
itself.
is
I know. Gigi, right? We talked to somebody about it. We looked at some things.
Dr. Tran, you agree with this stuff he's saying?
No castor oil.
having a threesome.
Not castor oil. CBD oil? What about CBD oil? CBD oil.
That'll break down those.
There you go. Or THC oil. CBD oil.
I use the CBD all the time.
There you go.
That's what I use in all my.
So yeah, I mean, these are things that he
Everything's
went down
to
the
consider.
line. So he said, "What's scurvy? What is scurvy? Do you know what scurvy is?
What is
Scurvy?
Ship sailors used to have it back in the 1800s.
I heard the word, but I forget what it is.
It's a lack of vitamin C. That's why they took potatoes on a ship. The Irish coming over to America, the Mayflower, they had potatoes on the ship to prevent them from getting scurvy. Everybody
Shit.
knows this. How about osteoporosis?
What about
Calcium deficiency.
Yeah.
It's a calcium deficiency. Your bones are brittle. You need calcium, right? What's the greatest percentage of cellular activity in the body? Bones. They're most of what your body is. You need calcium and lots of it. Cheeses, all sorts of things. It's in spinach. It's in broccoli. It's in it's in milk.
So
It's in whole
pizza's the
milk.
cure? Huh?
Of course. Of course.
In
cheese.
milk, but think about it.
Cheese. You're eating cheese. You need a lot of it.
They push you to almond milk. They put
Yeah,
you
but
to
if you eat
oat
a lot
milk.
of cheese, you get cholesterol.
No, that's all bullshit.
Cholesterol,
That's the
come
biggest
on.
crock of shit
What's
in
the-
America.
You go to a doctor that
Oh,
tells you
my-
if you have a cholesterol problem.
You're
Your
a
cholesterol
fucking-
better be 500.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
crap.
all bullshit.
Oh,
What's going on
my
over
God.
there? Jesus.
Cholesterol.
That cholesterol.
Listen, do you know your brain's 80% cholesterol?
Wow.
Oh, you take a cholesterol drug, you get Alzheimer's? Hey, I don't know. You tell me.
Wow.
You can't get an erection? You need cholesterol for an erection. Just to let you know.
Wow.
What did I tell you, Oliver?
What about if you get an open wound on your foot? What do you take?
Oh, shit. Yeah, dude, you got to soak that in Epsom salts, and you got to stay off it for a while, but that's not me. I play tennis.
He does play tennis. He got kicked out of Lehigh.
Oh, yeah.
You did?
What don't you play?
How did you do that?
I did.
Unwanted guest.
I did. I was there too often.
As a guest.
As a guest. The pro looked at me and he said, Steve has been here too much. He goes, he's been here more than a member. Next time I see you guys, bring him along. You're getting a letter, which means you get 3 letters, you get kicked out of the club. You get a letter. Yeah, I got kicked out. I was there too often.
You were playing too good, beating too many people.
I was beating too many people.
Different people. I
was having a good time.
Yeah.
Different members would invite me at different days. I was there more than a member.
What's the problem then if it's different members?
Well,
No,
They have
there's
they have rules. These clubs have rules.
They have rules, you know.
They have rules. The elite, they have rules.
Did you curse them out?
You're not allowed to say you can cure things. I cannot cure things. I am not a person that can cure your illness. You just have to listen.
You know,
have
it's
to have
funny.
knowledge.
It was funny today. I had an associate come in, and I hadn't seen the person for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So they just came in. They were like, I just wanted to check in. I know you haven't seen me. I got COVID, and I was like, "Oh, you did?" I said, "Yes." "Did you test?" "Yeah." "Did they give you medicine?" "No." "So what'd you feel?" She goes, "Well, I took Mucinex and." I took, cold medicine. I took this. I said, "So did that make you feel better?" "Yes." "So
Really?
why get tested?" I mean, just to acknowledge it. So you go in, you get tested, and they say,
I
Go home.
personally like ivermectin. I think that's
hydroxychloroquine.
hydroxychloroquine
Yeah.
as well.
Ivermectin.
Yeah.
just you need vitamin D.
I had COVID for a 4th time, and I tried tonic water with quinine.
What's quinine?
That's what kills malaria. So quinine is what killed malaria in Africa. When our soldiers went over there, they developed malaria from mosquito bites.
Right.
And they figured out in the 50s that quinine killed it.
We drank
For
so
me,
much
it
tonic
killed- it
water in the
killed the
beginning of COVID. Georgette, remember the tonic water? I would bring it home every day. We were drinking tonic water. I mean, I went out. I was like, there's stuff out there that we could buy. Got to get it in your system.
Yeah, that pineapple juice and a couple of other things. Yeah,
Pineapple juice.
pineapple juice.
Fucking Gigi's just sitting over there listening and going, what the fuck
Look,
is this
I
guy
didn't say it
talking
cured it.
about?
No,
But I said I felt better.
She's not saying that.
bought that. She's not
You
saying
know
that.
she's saying that? She's looking at you how much of a fucking donkey you are. That's what she's saying.
That's it.
Yeah. Right, Georgette? See? She said yeah.
She won't talk about what she thinks about you, though.
No, she doesn't say nothing about me.
Not in front of you.
Yeah, that's it. And
No,
him? Josh.
there's 2 forms of medicine. There's allopathic and then there's natural. And so you got to choose. And I think a combination of both would work. But remember, the pharmaceutical companies don't make money off of natural
Remedies.
remedies.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not a drop.
And it's amazing, when you sit back and you look at the current situation, people that are using the terminology COVID, which I respect whatever they do, but they always say there's a new strain. I mean, in my entire life, I've never had the flu, but I've never taken a flu shot. Now when you go to the doctor, what's the new one they ask you? There's like another shot they're asking about. Did you get? There's another one they just asked me the other day.
I don't know. I'm not an anti-vaxxer.
What?
I've never been, but
Shingles?
but
No,
I did-
shingles been out. Oliver.
Yeah,
No, but they
yeah.
keep asking about it.
The COVID vax was something different. That wasn't a real vaccine. It wasn't a deadened virus. Unless you went with one of the companies. I forget which one. What was the company that had the deadened virus?
Johnson & Johnson, was it?
Yes.
That's what they
Yeah,
said?
there you go. So the other things affected, they manipulated your DNA to create a version of the virus that your body attacked. And once your body attacked it, then supposedly you were immune to the COVID virus.
And then you get it,
So it's
all of a sudden a new
DNA
strain comes
changing-
out and you got it. It's
Well, exactly. So
But there's money being made every time this comes out. It's no different than a flu shot. It's when they did the polio shot, it was once and done.
Right.
So there's no much money. They said, what are we doing here? Why did we make a cure when we can make a virus?
Well, I don't have
I mean, that's
anything to say
my-
about that.
Why do you
but-
think they made the virus? To eliminate people? Is that?
I think to cause chaos in the
Oliver say?
2020
What'd you
election.
say?
I mean, that's my
Population
opinion.
control.
Hey, listen, you get
You
people.
said what, Oliver?
He's right too. Population,
Population
control.
control.
I
Yeah, I
agree with
believe
him.
that.
I agree with you 100%.
I believe that.
I think there's a lot of things at play. You know,
Yeah.
when you see it. I mean,
Yeah.
look, Zelensky today. Somebody called him Putin. I don't know. So that's
Who called him Putin?
some guy. He's like.
Biden.
He's like a stout. Was it Biden?
Was it?
He looked like a mannequin at Kmart from years ago. But honest to God, you know when you would walk into Kmart and you see the mannequin? That's what he looked like today. And I guess it's funny though. Kamala Trump is the vice president. That's what I heard.
I didn't know that. There's two. They melded together. What happened? They had a child.
Somehow a mannequin called his vice president Kamala Trump.
Okay.
She doesn't look as good as Ivanka, though. Ivanka,
No,
she's a
doesn't.
good-looking girl.
Ivanka's a good-looking girl.
Very good-looking girl. Well, Steve, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a
Appreciate
great
it.
episode.
All right.
Yeah.
Good friend. We got to do one more shot before we go over.
I still have mine.
Sponsors.
Oh, come on.
Are we going to talk about pho later? We have another episode in here.
No, we're just
Nah, he's busy over there.
busy.
He's busy having a threesome.
Dude, I want to do another full episode with him.
All right.
Just him.
All right.
Because he's got a lot that I want to.
He has a lot to talk about.
When his buddy comes back from Canada,
All right.
the hockey player.
Oh yes. Yeah. All right.
So, Jeff Adams, Remax Realty, 610-972. What the fuck? Yeah, 972, right?
You're off today.
I'm very off. 610-972-5323, New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Remax Realty and Mr. Jeff Adams. Enter.net, our good man Juice, not here tonight, but website design, social media, and all that good stuff. Franco's Pizza, Rosenfilippo Belia, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Thank you again. Steve Seiler Insurance, right here to the left. 570-446-8023. All your insurance needs, right? From
Health,
Just
dental,
health.
and vision.
Yeah,
That's
health,
it.
dental, and vision.
Health, dental, and vision.
Okay, there you go. Lehigh Valley Pizza Shops, Oliver Nasri to my left here, and you're still at 11,000 or 12? 11,500. Maybe you should work on that a little bit. Ask Juice for some help. Master Supply, Barb and Kevin Master. Thank you again. And Dave Sweeney, you look good. I saw you yesterday.
Yeah, he's walking good.
No, not yesterday.
Tuesday.
TNY Construction, Tony Nasser.
No job too
big,
big.
no job too small.
All your construction needs with Mr. Tony Nasser. Banco Beverage, Jim Glassick. Haven't seen you in a while, but we're going to catch up. Tony Gallo and Joe Marino. So, again, Joe's Teas, Calypso, Zoa, Pabst Beer, Miller High Life. What am I missing? Nothing. Let's go for it. Get it done. Get it in your stores. Well, if you have a liquor license, get Miller Lite and Pabst Beer. The United States Pizza Team. Shout out to Brian Hernandez. Carmelo sauces again.
Thanks for sending it.
Thanks for sending it. We're going to eat it in a little bit, actually. So thank you for that. What else do I have?
That's it. Let's cheers. Cheers, Steve.
Cheers.
We can't cheers. We got to pass the bottle.
Oh, no.
All right.
Antonio's fault.
Are we doing a freedom photo?
Antonio's
What are we doing?
fault.
If you want.
Steve,
we-
you got to do the freedom photo.
I can't.
I'll chug a beer. I won't do a freedom funnel.
Do a freedom.
Freedom Funnel's easier than chugging a beer.
Is it really?
Oh, my gosh. It's
I
Goes down in
can't
a
open my
second.
throat though. I got a problem.
Here, Steve.
I got to take that with me. No, I'm bringing it with me down the shore.
you gotta make sure you have sanitizing wipes.
I'm going to fucking wash it before I put it in my mouth, Sal. Fucking 600 people fucking
It's
drank out of
washed
it.
every time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I know you do.
Well, cheers. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Episode
Good job.
46. Remember, follow us on Spotify, YouTube, comment, interact with us. Cheers to everyone. We'll see you guys soon.
It's a PizzaFellas podcast.
Steve, I'll tell you what. That was some good information.
Grab a drink.
That was some really good
Glad to
information.
be here, man.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Come on, let's make it
Thank you.
last.
There are guys out there that are going to watch
Talk
that,
with
watch
Sal
the
and
show.
Joe,
Helping a lot of small
Oliver,
businesses.
Antonio.
There's a lot of guys in the field.
Stories
Stuff
they
we
gonna tell us.
covered.
Let's have some fun with the Pizza Fellas.
What's in that?